What's up? What's up, guys? It's the middle of the week. I just took a hot bath and I am ready to go live and hang out. I figured we could talk about a new fish that I have, and that is a pearl gourami. I got a lot of updates going on right now in this little fish room here. Matt's Monster Fish is the first one in the house. He says, yo, Caleb's Aquatics says, what's up? David F gives the wave emoji. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight is Thursday night. It's getting closer to the weekend, and I gotta say, I can feel it in my fingertips. Incorrect. I was the first one, says Brentford Aquatics. I don't know, man. I could have swore Matt's Monster Fish was in here. So Dylan Martin says, hello. How is everyone doing tonight? Some weird things are happening in the fish room. I have a bunch of Firemouth fry. Actually, I'll just give you guys the updates right now. Jeff Rose says, what's up, everyone? Yes, I have some Firemouth fry in this tank over here. I had no plans on breeding them. Here, I'll switch the cam. There is the fry. There is the dad guarding them. So that's pretty cool. Sorry about the glare. That's kind of annoying. There is a bunch of them as well. So I threw these Firemouths in here, and I had, the reason I put them in there is so I would not have them breed, but they are breeding. And I also have a flower horn in here that is healing up quite nicely. You can see him there in the back, and everything's going well there. And I'm pretty sure my African spotted bushfish, whatever you want to call them, are breeding because they are out and about and they are eyeing up a bunch of places to lay eggs. I think they lay eggs. I don't know a lot about these fish. Someone brought these fish over to my house. I've never kept them before. Super cool fish, but yeah, the pearl gourami. I figured we would talk about them. Actually, I forgot to show you the pearl gourami. What the heck am I thinking? Yes. Pearl gourami. I'm not really a gourami guy at heart, but I could not deny the coloration of these fish. Like, I was absolutely blown away by how much coloration these things had. And I was like, I'm not a gourami guy, but I just had to pull the trigger and I got one of them. So, and I have the Facebook group Gourami Fish Keepers, and I would say I took a glance at some of the analytics and some of the posts, and the number one question asked was, my gourami fish is sick, and what is going on? So I figured we'd talk about why gourami fish get sick. And I think, I don't want to generalize fish keepers. I sometimes have to kind of do it when I look at the core issues that people have with fish. But I think that a lot of new fish keepers are buying gouramis because a lot of times you go to your big chain pet stores like Petco, PetSmart, what have you, and what happens is you buy a tank, but then you also maybe buy fish the same day, and it's very common for people to buy the dwarf gourami, the gold gourami, the three-spotted gourami. There's tons of different names for them, and I think the biggest problem people have is aggression with gouramis, and that intermixed with the fact that gouramis aren't that tough of a fish, and when what happens is they almost like become aggressive with each other or other fish, and then stress, like when you add that second tier of stress to their lives, they immediately get sick, and it's very common for them to get sick. I want to give some shout outs from the chat here. There's a bunch of people in the chat. Felix Spink says, hey Chris, there is a Facebook group is there a Facebook group you don't have? LMFAO. I have a bunch of Facebook groups. I was, to be completely honest with you, I was kind of at the birth of Facebook groups, and I was hanging out in the forums every single day, and I got this idea that I foresaw the growth in these Facebook groups, and I was like, man, I want to hang out with people because that's what I do with fish keeping, and I think these are going to be kind of a popular thing. So I started a bunch of Facebook groups, and they just exploded in growth, and I started putting in tons of work moderating them and helping other people out, and it was kind of a complete waste of time in a sense of seeing like a turn back or a return on it, but I feel like it helped maybe the industry, but anyways, the group's exploded in growth. I did a bunch of videos. But yeah, God, the chat. I need to stay out of the chat because I get sidetracked really easily. The Pearl Gourami. All right, I'm gonna hit up some guides here. I want to just check out what some of the articles have to say about keeping the Pearl Gourami. I know that a lot of these common gouramis that are sold at fish stores, like the gold gourami, the blue gourami, the three spotted, the pearl, there's the opaline, there's a lot of these like super popular ones, and they're all kind of like in the general vicinity the same as far as taking care of them and having the same issues. The dwarf gourami is a little more aggressive than the others, I feel like, but then in turn people try to put them with like betta fish. We see that all the time in the group, and it's like I truly believe the biggest issue is your tank mates. What are you keeping them with? And make sure your tank temperature is up to par. Even though some of these care guides, this care guide right here says they can take temperatures all the way down to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't agree with that, because maybe in the wild they're seeing that, but I find that they are pretty, like, they want to have warm water. And when it gets below that 77 degrees Fahrenheit, I've had nothing but issues. So, with gourami fish, when you have that second tier of stress added to the fish, like, they get sick and they die. A lot of people quit keeping gourami fish because they die. And I'll be quite honest, when I was a new fish keeper, it's I killed a lot of gouramis, and I'm gonna claim defeat here, and it's because my fish keeping wasn't up to par. Jeff Rose is in the chat. I'm having an issue speaking tonight. I don't know what's going on. It's like my throat's really dry. It's like Why are your tanks so sexy, says Caleb Aquatics. Because I put my heart and soul into them? No, they're really not that sexy. To be completely honest with you, right now, my tanks look, I'm so unhappy with my tanks, because what's happening with the shop is I'm setting it up and I'm stuffing all my fish into less tanks, meaning you're pushing your boundaries with having tank mates in your fish, what have you, and it's like, that's what I'm just preaching, like tank mates. Even though, and with gouramis, that's a good segue. With gouramis, I also feel like with your tank mates, you need to be careful with keeping like same species gouramis together, because sometimes when you keep like two gold gouramis together, sometimes the aggression just, it snowballs essentially. And like, whenever I keep gouramis, what I try to do is have a like single species gourami just in a tropical, like a community tank essentially, and that's what I have in these tanks. And I remember quite some time ago, Primetime Aquatics did a video on gourami fish, and he was saying that he was keeping gouramis with African cichlids, and the gourami was actually the tank boss at one time. Like, that shows you they're like the chihuahua sometimes of the tank. And I've heard that all the time, especially with dwarf gouramis. It's like, it's this tiny little gourami, but it has a huge punch, and it's you just have to be careful. It's a sketchy fish for beginners to buy, but yet beginners are probably most likely to buy them. So it's like, it's terrible in a sense. So I don't know. As far as general fish keeping though, they're super, these are pretty easy fish the Pearl Gourami grows 4 to 5 inches. They're omnivores. They're gonna be very sturdy as far as water parameters. The water hardness, I have fairly hard water here, and they're doing completely fine. That tank light just went off. I'm going to ignore it. I'm gonna try not to freak out. Actually, I can't take it. I gotta turn it on. And of course, it's on pink. Are you kidding me? All right, guys, I'm back. I apologize. It's just, you know, when you do a video, you gotta have the tank showcased. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you could probably see the GoPro in that tank right now. I have the GoPro just sitting in here. I made like a DIY like handle deal for underwater videoing, and I'm trying to get some good footage of some jaguar cichlids, and the reason the camera stays in the tank is because they are afraid of the camera. But what I'm trying to do is leave the camera in the tank for like a week so that they get used to it. That way, when I want to do some cool footage, underwater footage of them feeding, I can record it when they're not afraid of the camera. It's not rocket science, but I'm hoping it works. So it's worked in the past essentially. So Little Pump says, I'm looking at a car's Firemouth and Jewels. Phoenix Aquatics 411 Legacy says, how are you doing, Mr. Bees? All right, best tank size for depression. The biggest tank you can get. It will cure your depression, I promise you. So let's take a look at this tank here with the Pearl Gourami, and we'll just kind of like, I don't know, we'll just talk about it. I'm kind of just hanging out tonight. I apologize, I haven't been doing a lot of like regular videos and editing. Life's just been kind of crazy. My daughter is going through like another teething spell, and she's just, I don't know what's her deal as far as teething, but she's just kind of insane. Yes, that is a fake plant, don't judge me. You can see the foot of it is white. I haven't buried it yet, I literally just threw it in there. But yeah, my African bushfish, like they're like rarely out, and they are out and about, and I know something's up because they're kind of doing the mating dance, and I'll have to do some research on if they lay eggs or not. I'm pretty sure they lay eggs. They've been hanging out under this branch under here and just like, or look at that tiger barb. It has a chunk out of it. That's so weird. Huh. I might have to put him in quarantine and give him some meds if that escalates any further. Snail eggs all over the place. Mollyfish. The mollyfish have really been helping clean up the algae. I have some balloon mollies in there. I wanted to make a video on balloon mollyfish, but it turns out a lot of you guys aren't really digging the mollyfish videos because my views are way down on those videos. But it is what it is. I understand not all videos are catered to everyone. I kind of try to touch base with all types of realms of fish keeping. Some of you guys don't like it. It is what it is. My passion is keeping all types of fish. Like I told you, I'm setting up a goldfish tank, and if you don't like certain styles, then you just move on, and maybe you look for a different style of video. What I'm trying to maybe do, I thought about it because, you know, like I've been down the realm lately of doing like just nicer community fish, and my views are way down. It's quite obvious that like a lot of my following is predator fish followers. But I thought about like maybe doing like a couple nice fish videos and then a couple like predator fish videos so that it could like even out the two. But like what's the perfect mix? You know what I mean? You're always gonna have your trolls, and the trolls have been crazy lately. I don't know what it is, if it's the weather or what, but people literally like tag me out on Facebook and they're just trolling me. It's absolutely insane. It's kind of been getting me down, but like, I don't know. I'm just going to try to stay strong and just do my thing. So it is what it is. It's funny because you can read 100 positive comments, but one troll can just like wreck your day. You're like, that guy knows what to say to wreck my day, and it worked. Like it sucks, but it's the bitter truth of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Beerski's in the house. He says, hello, Chris. Just wanted to say hello. Yeah, I saw your video you posted on Facebook. That's kind of cool. I'm glad that you finally took the leap into doing videos. And by the way, I had to throw a troll comment in your video because if you remember back, you trolled my piranha videos pretty hard, Beerski. So leave Facebook and join Monster Fish Keepers. The light's off. God, it's my biggest pet peeve, dude. I'm on Monster Fish Keepers, but I admin like 10 huge Facebook groups of fish keeping. Like, how could I just walk away from that? It's like all those people that need help, like I could be helping and possibly growing the industry. You know what I mean? Can I keep a Jack Dempsey in a 45-gallon tank? You could. I would only do it for like a year or two though, because he's gonna outgrow that tank pretty fast. So they have staff members for the kinds of things you are concerned with. I'm not concerned with trolls. I understand they're there. It's just, I don't know. I really like to understand how people work, but when I try to understand trolls sometimes too, and it's like, I need to give up and just be like, blip, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll try to win over the troll. Like I spent maybe like 45 minutes of my time today trying to win over this trolling post, and it's just like, and then he just went off the deep end. He was like, F you, swear word, you're a C word, and I'm just like, dude, like this, like we're adults, we were talking, and all of a sudden you just went off the south, like that assures me you're crazy, like I'm done here, like, and it was a complete waste of time, and I think 90% of the time it's a waste of time. Can I get a better Fahaka video, please? My Fahaka puffer video, that was with Weldon Aquatics, right? That was his channel doing it, and he had kept Fahakas for years, and I guess what else are you looking for? What you should probably do is reach out to Weldon Aquatics and send your questions his way, because he's been keeping that puffer for a very long time, and it's by the way, I want to talk about this because Weldon Aquatics is doing some super cool experiments, and this is getting off topic of the Pearl Gourami, but I really don't care. Some super cool experiments on his channel. What he's doing is he bought the Zis K1 media filters from Corey at Aquarium Co-op. It's essentially the K1 media that only is biological filtration. Well, I guess it has the mechanical underneath it, but what he's doing is he's doing a test on different tanks. He's doing a sponge filter, one of the Zis filters, and another one. What he's doing is he has the same comet goldfish in each tank, and he's feeding the same amount of food each day, and he's going to do a test on water parameters. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's not like a scientific test, but I think more people need to be doing tests like that because it's absolutely insane, like information. And everyone's been asking, oh, is the Zis filter, are these things like, everyone's like, oh, they're the cat's meow, I love them. Corey's switching over to all of them in his tanks, in his 20 gallons in the store. It's like, but they're only biologically, they're only, they're not mechanical really. So that's essentially, I don't know, that's a whole other wormhole in itself. So JH Aquatics is in the house. He says, hello, how are you? Palmer Aquatics. JH, I think we kind of gave up on doing our live stream. I mean, it's totally cool. I know life comes at you hard, and I know that you're trying really hard to get to Aquashella. I should just donate you some money, JH, because I can't make it, and I love your content, and it is what it is. Ethan says, don't argue with them. That's what they want you to do, coming from a former troll. Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes I try to win over the trolls, and it's like, it's bad news. It's kind of got me down lately. Like, people are like, the #1 negative comment on my channel is, stop blabbing. We don't want to hear you. We want to see fish. We want to see fish. And it's like, dude, this is a live stream. You're hanging out. It's, I wish I could like meet each of these trolls and be like, dude, what's up? Like, we could be cool, but I have to learn. I'm such a nice dude that like I can't be friends with everyone, especially on the internet. I think I saw one of those videos Corey made the other day on those filters. Yes, a lot of people are really in love with those Zis filters, but there's really no, if we're being honest, I love Corey and his channel and everything, and it's a great idea that he created a filter, but K1 media has been around for quite some time, and a lot of the guys over at Monster Fish Keepers have been using these filters for a long time, but a lot of them do like DIY builds, and it's, what he did was he essentially made a canister for it, whereas a lot of people were just using like water bottles and they'd have the K1 swirl around in there. But he just kind of, what am I trying to say? I don't know. I guess we will see what the tests show. It would be really cool if Corey would do like a mass scale test in his fish store. That's kind of what we need, because mass scale is like more of an experiment, I feel like. But I'm following his experiment. Shout out to Weldon Aquatics. Love your channel. Yeah. Hey man, don't let the trolls get to you. JH Aquatic says, I have some free time coming up soon. Yeah, just give me a holler. I've been trying to live stream. Dude, I have so many videos in editing too. I know the feeling. It's like, I just haven't had time lately, and live streaming is so much easier. I just hit go live and it's like, ugh, and you're still meeting up with your peeps, the fish fam, what have you. Judy Sharp says, I'm getting 2 peep offers tomorrow. That's awesome. I'm thinking about maybe dropping some moolah on some fish just because I've been in this rut kind of lately. I think it's like this midwinter kind of like depression thing where I'm just like, and you know, that's why I haven't been putting out a lot of videos. My wife got in that car accident. It's like, we had the most snow this month of like, it was a record year for snow, and it was the coldest polar vortex, they call it. I don't know. All you people that live in Florida, you're probably like, you live there, you fool. JH Aquatic says, working through it. Yeah, man, I understand. I know you went through a breakup. It's a nonstop. I mean, life comes at you. That's the verdict. You know what I mean? Like, life never stops sending you just everything. You know what I'm saying? The whole point of this live stream is you. We can all keep fish, but can't hang out with you otherwise. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like, I just like hanging out with you guys. I've felt, it'll be cool, like, maybe someday I will meet Bierski in person. You know, like, I'll have my shop set up, and that's my dream, because, like, when I have it set up, I want to invite people over, because, you know, like, he's not too far from me, and maybe if someone's coming through on a vacation, like, I could shoot a video and be like, hey, this is a long-time subscriber, or, like, Hunter, or like JH Aquatics. It would just be like, it would be super cool, and like putting video to faces, and it's I don't know, that's I knew I recognized that name, says Ethan. I have peep offers in a community tank with 2 GSPs with mollies, and they all get along. Yes, I wish I would have talked more about molly fish in salt, like brackish tanks. I feel like it's I don't know, it's worth talking about, because a bunch of people commented and they were like, hey man, why didn't you talk about salt when you were talking about mollies? And that was a good point. Sometimes when you do videos, it's Hunter says, I don't travel, can't abandon the fishies. I feel you, man. It's I have problems leaving town because I don't like leaving my fish alone. But something I'm doing in the shop is what I'm going to be doing is running camera systems, and that'll be cool because it's you know, I'll be able to be mobile like somewhere else and be able to check on my fish, which I find it would be really cool. Because whenever I leave, I'll always text my wife and be like, hey, how are my fish doing? You know, go in there and check on them all. And she'll be like, they're fine. And I'm like, go check on the red devil. You know, is the blood parrot okay? And she's like, honey, your fish are fine. And I come back and they're not fine. Lil Pump says, I need more fish friends. Yes, I feel like we all feel like that. Derek says, is the geophagus a bad word, or is I'm the only one that is interested in them? No, geos are awesome. I have a geo in this tank. People keep asking for videos on geos, and I feel like I have to make one video talking about geos in general, because I threw around the idea of doing a bunch of the different variants of geos or species of them, and it's hard. And that's why I've been putting it off, because it's just going to be so much work. So when people say they are fine, it means the opposite. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you guys. I'm kind of in a rut right now. I'm actually going to join a basketball league, like an adult basketball league, through my work. So it's like, hopefully that'll like get me out and about a little bit, get my heart rate going. I don't really exercise much at all. I know it's kind of personal, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I will scoop you up and we will head out to fishing in the land of 10,000 lakes. Yes, that is my state, 10,000 lakes. What kind of sucks about all these lakes though here in Minnesota? None of the fish have much color. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like bluegill and crappies and such have a little bit of color, but not that much. So, Palmer, I love your videos, bro. I just bought an arapaima. Going to experiment and see how fast they grow. Woo, boy, you're in for a rude awakening. You got an arapaima. Do you have a swimming pool in your backyard? I'm just kidding. Dude, check out my video. They're pretty insane. It got a lot of trolling action because they grow like 10 feet long. Hit up Matt's Monster Fish. He has one. I don't know what else to tell you. That's you essentially got an alligator gar on your hands that grow 9-10 feet long. But I know it happens, and I don't know what to say to you. Good luck. Good luck. Maybe visit the idea of a plan B. I'm thinking of doing a 6-foot tank with all geos. Been researching, but I don't know how many with them. How many to put with them? Yeah, just set up a 6-foot tank, do sand. All the geos pretty much get along together. The redheads, the earth eaters are very mild-mannered. They get along great. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Very underrated in the industry. But yeah. What was the video's topic on? Oh, the Pearl Gourami. I have to look at my own video title. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I gotta get to editing. I have like 100 videos in the editing process. It's insane. I'm getting behind. The Pearl Gourami, general care. Let's just recap over this. Their temperament is peaceful. This is fishkeepingworld.com. But it says it's peaceful. I kind of preach the opposite of that, because they can be peaceful, but on the other hand, they can be like the little chihuahuas of the fish world. And like I said, Primetime Aquatics was talking about, he did a video a while ago. He kept a gourami in a tank with haps, and it was the tank boss for a while. And it's their lifespan is up to 5 years. People claim that gouramis die on them all the time. That was the second most popular post in Gourami Fish Keepers, the Facebook group. And join the group if you want. There's a bunch of other gourami fish keepers that people just love keeping gouramis. They're labyrinth style breathing. I forgot to talk about this, so make sure to watch your surface agitation if your filter's too powerful, because they come up for gulps of breath, and a lot like bettas, they become stressed if there's too much surface agitation and they can't get that gulp of air. So watch your surface agitation. Sometimes too many floating plants will put stress on them. Tank mates, don't put too many. I would stick with like one gourami. You know, like if you maybe like a beautiful dwarf gourami or a gold gourami, just get one of them in a community tank, and you're probably going to be better off yet, because sometimes they get after each other, and it's just bad news sometimes. And water parameters, I hate to say this, but they are not that sturdy of a fish. Like, whereas cichlids, you could probably maybe skip a water change and be okay. Gouramis, when that next tier of stress hits, they get sick and die like that. A lot of times, people that are really big into gouramis are also really big into fish medications and medicating them, and you become almost like a mini scientist. You know, below your fish tank, you have an arsenal of fish meds. I've seen that, and they're like, oh, that fish is starting symptoms of ick or this and that, or bloat. They're very susceptible to bloat, gouramis, I've noticed. And don't overfeed them, because beginners also love to overfeed. And I could preach and preach and preach, but clean water, don't overfeed. Tank mates, like I talked about, tank size, you get up to 4 to 5 inches, and the bigger the tank you have, the less likely your water parameters are going to be bad at a faster rate. It's hopefully that helps you taking care of your pearl gouramis, or just any general of the more common gouramis that you find at fish stores. They're all very similar. They have the feeler tentacles, and sometimes like other more aggressive fish will try to like pick at those, like the tiger barbs. I was worried about the school of tiger barbs in there, but they're doing fine. I think the African bushfish are the tank boss in my case, because it is what it is, that or else the silver dollars. So but yeah, I just wanted to jump on tonight and say hey to you guys. Hopefully that helps. There's 50 people in the chat now. Holy crap. Powder blue dwarf gourami. Yeah, there's tons of different variants. There's tons of different names. Fish stores. A lot of times, like, I find that, like, the pearl gourami has, like, 6 different names, you know, and so does the blue gourami and the opaline. It's just, like, that's kind of the funny part about keeping fish. Let's see what else this says. They are peaceful community fish. They prefer heavily planted. Yes, that's quite obvious. If you can master plants in your community tank, you're gonna be better off yet. I don't do live plants, but I'm getting into it, and it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think of the Pearl Gourami in my comment section below. Let me know. I'm very interested to know. If you were a new fish keeper, did you have issues, or let's start it this way. As a new fish keeper, did you find yourself selecting gourami fish? Because I know I did. Some of my first fish was the gold gourami, and that's why I have it tattooed on me, because it was one of my first fish that started this addiction. And why were you drawn to gouramis? Did you start to have problems? What were the first tank mates in your beginner tank with your gourami fish? Because I like to know this stuff. I always try to understand fish keepers, and especially beginner fish keepers, because if we can better understand the process of how beginner fish keepers think, we could better the failure rate in this hobby. Because like something like 90% of people that try and keep fish just get out of the hobby in the first year, they say. It is what it is. I'm heading out, guys. It was good seeing everybody. Inventory King is in the house. He's got a cool channel. Check it out. He keeps a lot of African cichlids. Watch the playback. Check out the podcast, Fish Aquarium Geeks. There's tons of cool info on there. It is what it is. It was cool hanging out with you guys tonight. And there's going to be more videos coming this weekend. I'm in the editing process. We got OB peacocks. Got some super cool, God, what else is in the editing process? I gotta think. Red arowanas, OB peacocks. There's tons of videos. I just can't think of them right now because I'm a scatterbrain. I can't think or speak tonight, and it's, I don't know. It's just something weird. So, all right, guys, see you later. Have a good night. It's always weird ending these live streams. Like, sometimes I say I love you,